Hi, I'm Suzanne Vara. I'm with the Bureau of Development Services. I've been around for 30 years, since January of 1979, and so the Bureau has asked me to share what I've learned and my perspective on 30 years working with small businesses, really most of that time. So in January of 1979, when I first came to work for the Bureau, I can tell you that it was a whole different place. Customer service was not even a twinkle in the Bureau's eye. I have never really quite fit in. It's like the Bureau has grown around me rather than me sort of shifting to adopt the Bureau's point of view. I think that the Bureau has really come around to the point of view that I had when I started, when I was 25 years old, which is what? Well, it's customer service, you know, and what's customer service? Customer service is having some empathy for the person who's coming in. Customer service is going that extra little step. It's realizing that we wouldn't be here without the customers, that the codes, the rules are not the center of the universe. It's not all about that. It's about their projects. It's about what can we do, you know, what can we do to create jobs. So when I first came to work at the Bureau, it was all really old white men. And of course, back in the, you know, they were the age that I am now. Everybody was about ready to retire, and they did not know what to make of me, I'll tell you that. So I was I was a girl, I was young, I was self-confident, you know, I thought that I knew what needed to be done. There were inspectors who would not acknowledge my existence. There were customers who didn't want to talk to me. They wanted to talk to somebody with a little gray hair. And of course, looking back now, I understand a little bit because I see just how young 25 is from my now, you know, advanced perch here. But you know, 30 years I came here ready to make things work, and I'm leaving ready to make things work. You know, I've always had a whole lot of empathy for the customer. I've always wanted to find a way to say yes. You know, to me it hasn't been how do I make sure that the proposal in front of me meets every single code requirement. I have never felt that my responsibility was focused on the code. I felt that my responsibility was to help this customer who has a vision that's going to make the city a more vibrant and healthy place, help them meet their vision. And you know, I frankly have not cared whether it was a lingerie modeling studio or whether it was the daycare. You know, to me the job has been how do we get things moving, how do we get things going. And you know, it's really funny because I've always had a special little niche here in the Bureau, although it's just for the last few years that I've been actually the small business liaison. It was the early 80s. I came back to my desk one time and there was a memo that the manager then at that point had put on my desk and said, you know, I envision this, we're not going to change your social service, secret service, civil service, there you go. I'm not a very good bureaucrat. We're not going to change your civil service title, but you're going to be our new occupancy specialist. So since for the early 80s until, gosh, you know, about 2000, I think, pretty close to 2000, I specialized in working with small businesses. And in those days, it was really focused on the building code. Things were simple enough back then that we could just look at the small piece of getting people through the building code. And then over the years, it's gotten so complicated that we really needed somebody who crossed over the various lines. And so for really the last couple of years, the small business liaison position that I've been filling has been knowing a little bit about how all of the bureaus that have to do with development do their jobs. So I've been in this fabulous position to be kind of one-stop shopping for small businesses, finding out what it is that they need to know. So I've been able to listen to what it is that they want to do and advise them about through the development and review process how they get to what they need. So the job has been really wonderful for me, but really it's been an expansion of what I started doing in the early 80s. You know, what the manager said back then when he created this occupancy specialist position was that we don't get complaints about the big projects. You know, we handle the big projects well. It's the small business customers who really feel that they need some extra help, and that's where we get the complaints, and that's really where we need to be doing a better job. You know, from the 1980s until today, I think that remains true.